Hello and welcome. In this video, I will be talking about spouse visas. You can apply for a spouse visa in two different categories depending on your sponsor. If your partner is a British citizen, you must apply under UK law. If your partner is an EEA national, other than a UK citizen, British national, you must apply from EU law. What does applying for a spouse visa under UK law mean? If your spouse is a British citizen, he must meet certain requirements in order for you to apply for a spouse visa. This spouse visa application must be made outside the UK. So you must be outside the UK and your spouse must meet certain requirements like financial requirements and adequate living conditions requirements, and you also have some requirements to meet also. You must pass your test, A1 English language test, where you can take in your own country before your application. This route is only available for people who are married to a British citizen. The marriage must be a legal marriage and a genuine marriage where it doesn't matter which country it took place, as long as in that country your marriage is classed as a legal marriage. So the UK government has recognized those marriages outside the UK as long as it's recognized as a legal marriage in their own countries. We'll be talking about the partnership visas and different other videos in the future, but this video we'll be talking about the spouse visas, which means the married couples visas. You don't have to wait to apply for the spouse visa after you got married. There's no time limit, there's no restriction on when you should apply for a spouse visa. If you are married to a British citizen, you can apply as soon as you're married to a British citizen. Once you made a successful application for a spouse visa, you should usually get your decision within 3 months. Once you granted spouse visa, you'll be given a 30-day vignet on your passport, which is basically an entry clearance as a spouse, enable you to enter the UK, and then you can collect your 30 months spouse visa from the dedicated post office. That 30 months visa is actually a biometric residence permit, which is shortly called BRP, that you will be collecting from the post office once you enter the UK. Once you're in the UK as a spouse visa, which is valid only 30 months, just before the end of your visa, you must extend your visa if you still meet the requirements as a spouse in the UK. Once you successfully extend your spouse visa for another 30 months, then at the end of your 5 years as a spouse, you will be eligible for indefinite leave to remain. So basically, once you granted 30 months spouse visa, at the end of 30 months, you need to extend your visa for another 30 months. Usually you get granted for 33 months. So in total, after 5 years, 60 months as a spouse in the UK, you will be eligible for indefinite leave to remain under a spouse visa. I will be talking about how to obtain an indefinite leave to remain and a British passport in another video, so make sure you subscribe. In some exceptional circumstances, you might be granted an indefinite leave to remain as a spouse after 10 years. If you don't meet the requirements, or if your sponsor doesn't meet the requirements, you will be granted indefinite leave to remain under spouse visa after 10 years. If you want to talk about, and if you have any questions about exceptional circumstances under spouse visa, you can get in touch with us. That was if you're married to a British citizen. But what about if you're married to an EU national, EU citizen who lives in the UK? If you're married to an EU citizen who lives in the UK and resident in the UK, then you must follow different procedure than the British law. So it comes under the EU law. Basically, you don't have to go through the strict route as marrying to a British citizen. There is no income requirement for your sponsor to meet, or there's no English requirement for you to meet. In a way, we can say that's much easier than the UK law route. In most cases, you still have to have an entry clearance visa, which enables you to enter the UK, which is usually valid for 30 days. What does entry clearance visa mean? Entry clearance visa is a vignet, a sticker on your passport, which only lasts for 30 days, and you must travel the UK within that 30 days. So in order to enter the UK in the category you applied for, the application you must make is a family permit application. The family permit application must be made outside the UK. You usually get the decision for a family permit applications within 3 weeks. Once you're granted with a family permit to the UK, then you will be able to come to the UK to join your partner or travel with your partner to the UK. If you are granted with a family permit, You cannot travel alone if your partner is not in the UK. Once you are here with the family permit visa, you can then apply for 5 years residence card as an EU national family member. But I will be talking about this route in a different video. There's one more thing I want to mention in this video before I finish. Does Brexit affect any of those visa routes? The short answer is no. We have a detailed video about Brexit. It's in the description box below. Thank you for watching.